So, I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but this is all over the news right now that the U.S. Coast Guard patrol spots Chinese naval ships off Alaska Island. And this is from the AP. A U.S. Coast Guard cutter on routine patrol in the Bering Sea came across several Chinese military ships in international waters, but within the U.S. exclusive economic zone, officials said. So they were where they ought not be. The crew detected 3 vessels approximately 124 miles north of the Amchitka Pass in the Aleutian, or however you say that, islands. The Coast Guard said in a statement Wednesday. A short time later, a helicopter aircrew from Coast Guard Air Station Kodiak spotted a 4-ship approximately 84 miles north of the Amukta Pass. And notice the numbers, my peeps. 24, 84, and 200. Just like all those other articles that we were reading, although here lately I haven't been digging into them as much as what I was before. But anytime you do, you can see the communication involved. But, you know, I don't want to be someone who's fear-mongering. I don't want to, I know someone's going to say, well, it's nothing. It's no big deal. They're in international waters. And hey, I agree. It might not be a big deal. But if you take in account all the word that we've read about the men of the East, and then you take into account all the invasion stuff that we've been seeing the last few years, and don't forget that they're all working at the same place. All these moves that are being made, they're all it knows no there's probably there ain't many countries, I would say, if any, that don't have these lodges stationed all throughout them. But look at that. Them's all men from the East right there. Meet the builders of California's newest Masonic lodges. And this is, like I was just saying, they all work at the same place. They're all colleagues. And they all have one mission. It's called the Great Work. And it involves 2 towers. And as above, so below. And hexes. And that sort of thing. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The Kabbalah tree. That sort of thing. That's what it involves. So it's going to happen the way it's going to happen. The way the Most High has told us it's going to happen. The enemy, they only know to destroy not a few nations, a lot of nations. That's all they know. It's all Babylon knows is destruction and pride and ego. But it's pretty hot out here. Today it was like 108 or 107 or something like that, and it's still pretty hot, and I still got to do this in my horse, in my chariot for now. Someday I'll have that studio with a chair that spins around with speakers all over the walls, and I'll I'll spit it at you like that someday, hopefully. But right now I got to do it out here in this heat, and I ain't going to spend much time tonight. But we got to get out here and give all praise, all honor, all glory, and all esteem, all the time, baby, to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I don't care if people don't like it. I don't care if it offends people. This is my horn, my shofar, and I'm letting her rip, Tater Chip. And I understand that ruffles feathers, but if anyone truly is seeking the right thing, and they see those feathers getting ruffled and the panties getting twisted, they know where the problem lies. And it's not with someone on his horn giving all esteem and speaking the truth. Yes, it's a little rough around the edges and hard on the ears, but it's not supposed to tickle, and that's not what we do here. We give all esteem. Just like this lady here in Mark 14 gave all esteem, who smashed open that bottle of genuine nard and dumped it on the Messiah's feet. I'm going to read this real quick to you. I've been saying that chapter 14, it's what we have to do and what we must not do in order to live, in order to find our deliverance. And this is real talk. I'm not just sitting here talking smack to you guys. This is legit. If you don't do what the lesson that we learn, if you don't take heed to the lesson of what we ought to do and not do, that's found here in Mark chapter 14, whoever doesn't do what it tells us to do, they will not find deliverance. They will not live. Plain and simple. But if they do, they're gonna find deliverance. Mark my words. Now the Passah, the Passover, and the festival of Matzah was after 2 days. I want to pause there. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the Hopi and the Fremont Native Americans, the bread that they eat, they call it matzah. Yeah, look it up. And the chief priest and the scribes were seeking how to take him through treachery and put him to death. Treachery means betrayal of trust, deceptive action or nature. Treachery is trickery, cheating, and deceit. Trickery. So, Passover came, the feast day, the day of unleavened bread. And the chief priest and the scribes, those who were in charge of things, right? Those are the people, the men who the believers looked up to. They heard the word from. They thought they had the answers for the most part, kind of like today. Those guys were seeking how to take him through treachery and put him to death. They were plotting and scheming on how to take the Messiah out. And who is the Messiah? He's the Son of the living, mighty, most high Abba Yahuwah. What was he doing? He was healing the sick. the blind, the lame, casting out demons, and reading the Most High's word, speaking boldly the truth. And that's it. That's what he was doing. But yet, the people who the believers, the sheep, are supposed to be guided by, who they look up to, were plotting and scheming on how to take this innocent man who they had no reason to want to kill him. Or did they? What was their reason? Their reason was that their feathers were ruffled and their panties were twisted. Do you understand? It wasn't that he was over there poking them on the chest and saying, look here, buddy, this is what you do. You need to stop doing that. He wasn't working out their salvation for them. No, he was on his horn, his shofar. And they took offense to that. So what'd they do? They plotted and schemed and connived up a way to take him out and not to lunch. And they said, not at the festival, lest there shall be an uproar of the people. So they were, it was all politics, no doubt about it. And it was all guilty consciences. Those guys who wanted him dead, they were probably losing sleep at night because he was speaking the truth, walking the truth, revealing the truth, which, and not his fault, shed light on the dark things they were doing. It can't comprehend it. So all it can do is try to shut it up or kill it. And so you can see, it was all a big plot. They didn't want to do it at the festival because they didn't want to make cause an uproar. So they were operating in a manner that was most convenient for them, that was going to cause the least amount of political damage for themselves. And it was all about their own greedy gain, their own status, their own seat in the marketplace, in the house of the Most High. They wanted to be seen as the ones who had the answers. But why would that be, though? I mean, could they not share some of the spotlight? No, because if the truth were to come out that they were lying and misleading the people for their own political and financial gain, they would be the ones who might get put to death. Well, there's a difference in today's day and time. No one's going to kill anybody. But to these people who live for the Benjamins, baby, you might as well kill them. It's worse than death to them than to lose their money, cars, and clothes, and the attention, the likes, and the followers. But let's hear what Messiah, what's he about? And while he was in Bethania, in the house of Simon the leper, and sitting at the table, he was at a leper's house, eating with him at his table. I know so many people who wouldn't be caught dead in a house like that. And some of those people are people who me blowing my shofar ruffles their feathers. It burns them. Because I find out about it. I hear about it. And I'm not speaking about it to set anyone out or to gossip and be like that in any way. I'm pointing it out because we all need to understand, like I said in the beginning, what we must not do and what we must do. We must not care about the politics. We have to pick up our stake, do we not? Did the Messiah lie when he said the only way you'll make it into the kingdom is if you pick up your stake and follow after him? That's what he said, right? That's what we have to do, and that's what we're going to learn right here. He was sitting at Simon the leper's table, where I know, you know, just like I do, those chiefs and the priests, they wouldn't have been caught dead there, and there's people today that would smack you, a lot of people, over the head with the Bible every Sunday, sometimes twice on Sunday. But they wouldn't be caught dead in Simon's house, eating at his table. And they'll talk about you for doing it. I guarantee you. And this is one thing that probably added to their rage, the priest and the scribes. It added to their rage because they couldn't imagine that someone who would sit at a leper's table could be the one who would be healing and speaking the truth and exposing their treachery. So it only enraged them more, I'm sure. They were sitting at the leper's table, a woman having an alabaster flask of perfume, genuine nard, very costly. And breaking the flask, she poured it on his head. But there were some who were much displeased among themselves and said, "Why was this perfume wasted?" Wasted, they said. And so they're sitting in a house at a table, right? So it had to be people that were moving with the Messiah, right? That said that. It could have been people that were saying, "Yeah, you are the Son of the living Most High. He's the Messiah," and they probably witnessed stuff that he was doing, the truth that he was speaking. But a $300 bottle, or however much it was, of perfume poured onto the Messiah's feet was a waste. Well, to them it was, just like today. You mean to tell me you drove 1,200 miles? How much gas did that cost, David? Oh, about $500 or something like that. I don't know. It might probably cost me $1,000 to get out here altogether. Whoop-de-doo. We're talking about picking up your steak. How much? How much you think that steak's going to cost you? It costs you everything, my friend. Everything. But you gain all things. Life. Everlasting. But you can't gain that unless you pick up that costly steak. But the majority of people, they wouldn't spend a $300 bottle of genuine nard for it, or they're not driving. They'll go to vacation all over the place, but they're not going to come and look and come and show up at the Most High's house on the feast days. And when we can, let's not even talk about where it is. Let's just talk about, can you even do it? Regardless, even if we didn't know nothing about the true location of our house, and we all still thought that was it, Can you go? Can you pick up your steak? Or is it too much to ask? For it could have, this is what they said. Why has this perfume been wasted? For it could have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they were scolding them. They were thinking about the money. The Benjamins, baby. That's all they thought about. They didn't care. And that ain't the half of it. But Yahusha said, leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. I thought, and if they're there, they must be people who say they have faith, who say they believe in the mighty Most High. So, and we're even having the discussion of wasting a simple bottle of perfume on the feet of the Messiah and giving to the cause, to the Most High, all esteem. But, see, and back then is no different than today. That's still the conversation that the Christians are having today, and others, whoever it is. They talk, they say things like, see, he's taking things too far, you know. We don't have to, we can still celebrate Easter, and we can still do this and that, and see their feathers getting ruffled. But at the same time, I never have went and told anybody that they ought not do it. Now, I've told them that they ought not do it once they came to me and told me how let me know how the way I live my life was upsetting them, and that I'm wrong. And you know what happens every time? Every time I say, well, can you prove that? Can you show me how what I'm doing is wrong? Because if it is wrong, I don't want to be doing it. So yes, please come tell me. But we can never look at the evidence. This is why I came up with that term. All we see is the bottom of their Nikes. Every time. So all that's happening is panties are getting twisted because the truth is being spoke and healing is taking place. The Most High is the center of the focus. They can't stand it. And we must never be that way. We have to remain humble, loyal, trustworthy, faithful, honest, true. We have to use right ruling. If you're in a conversation and someone says, well, show me the evidence, that's when you bring it out if you have it, or you go find it. You don't do like the world and say, no, I don't have to, I'm not showing you. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it. How many times have you been in a conversation, I know I have, where someone's telling me that I'm wrong, and I could have what they're saying I'm wrong on video, and I could be like, well, here, do you want to, I got it on video to prove to you that I'm not, that I didn't do that, whatever. And they don't even want to look at it. They're just pissed. So we must navigate correctly through all those people going in the opposite direction, and there's a lot, and they're close to you, they're those you love, and there's nothing you can do about it. It doesn't matter. You still have to keep going in the opposite direction. It doesn't matter. It don't matter if your son, your daughter, your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister don't like it. It doesn't matter that they want you to stop. You can't stop. And we know the Messiah told us. We know this. And just think about it. It's common sense. They want to live in a world that would impale the Messiah. What they say, crucify. They want to live in a world where someone doing what the Messiah did ought to be crucified. That's the world that everyone going in the opposite direction wants to live in, whether they'll tell you that or not. But that's the facts. And we must strive to live in a world where we would, no questions asked, get up on that stake for the cause, for the Most High, if that's what's asked of us. All in, baby. And don't let someone deter you who don't like it that you're going all in, who ain't even going a quarter of the way in. For you have the poor. So this is what the Messiah told them that were getting mad over the flask. Yahushua said, leave her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you have the poor with you always, and you are able to do good to them whenever you wish, but you do not always have me. You think that mattered to them? You think they were like, oh yeah, that's right? I doubt it. What she had, she used. She took it beforehand to anoint my body for the burial. Now, I don't know if he had told him that before, that he was going to die or not yet. I mean, I don't think so. So I'll give them that benefit of the doubt. Maybe they didn't know. But if they knew that, if they knew, well, and he's going to die, and they were still mad about the $300 perfume, it's just all them. And I totally see how that would happen, because it happens now. Just when you think the world, has slid that ice cold dagger up into your back as far as it'll go, they push it just a little further. Just when you think it's over with, they stick it to you just a little more. Truly I say to you, wherever this good news is proclaimed in all the world, what this woman did shall also be spoken of to her remembrance. And we can attest to that, can't we? And we can see how that's been done right here on All Esteem. And why would that woman be mentioned? Is it because of her name, what she was wearing, what kind of house she had, or what kind of car she was driving, or horse and buggy she had? No. She'll be remembered because of what she gave. Ask not what the Most High can give to you, right? But what you can give to him and the cause, and to your brethren, your brothers and your sisters. And we know, because the Most High and the Messiah has told us that if we do that, that's when we receive the most. But we don't do it because we want to receive. We do it because we want to give. So she will be spoken of every time we're talking about this good news, because no one's going to make it into the kingdom unless they're living like this lady right here. You ain't making it. How is someone ever going to pick up a stake and follow after the Messiah if a $300 bottle of perfume on his feet burns their ass? How could that be? And then Yehuda, Judah, from Kiriath, one of the 12 taught ones, went to the chief priest to deliver him to deliver him up to them, just out of nowhere. And why would that be? You think it was for the money, for them 30 pieces of silver? Yeah, probably that too, but I got a sneaking suspicion that his feathers were ruffled as well. That he was feeling uncomfortable being around the Messiah, because the Messiah only wanted to do what the Most High wants us to do. And whatever word that is, whatever scientific term that one would use for that sort of thing, that's what was happening then, and it's happening now. And when they heard it, they were glad. The chief priest and the scribes, they were glad and promised to give him silver, and he was seeking how to deliver him up conveniently. They were glad about it. They were like, yes, this is going to stop. We can go back. We'll sleep easy at night, sticking it to all these people every day. We won't feel guilty about what we do when this guy's gone. Judas's feathers probably were ruffled, but one thing I do know, that he controlled the bag. He's the one that was responsible for the bag. So that was too much pressure for him. That added to that too, I would say. But they wanted to do it. They were happy, and they wanted to figure out how they could do it conveniently, in the most efficient way, with the least amount of PR damage control as possible. And on the first day of unleavened bread, when they were slaughtering the Passah lamb, his taught ones said to him, and when they were slaughtering the Passah lamb, that's what the priest and them did in the city. Like they do it, you know what I mean? Like in one big festival, they did it, and the people would come eat it. So this ain't saying that the 12 and the Messiah and them slaughtered the lamb. It gets slaughtered in, you know what I mean, how it's done in Jerusalem. His taught ones said to him, "Where do you wish us to go and prepare for you to eat the Passah?" And he sent out 2 of his taught ones and said to them, "Go into the city, and there a man bearing a jar of water shall meet you. Follow him. And wherever he enters, say to the master of the house, the teacher says, where is the guest room in which I am to eat the Passah with my taught ones? And he shall show you a large upper room, furnished, ready to go, baby. Prepare for us there. Now, I know how the Messiah and how the Most High operate. They operate several light year moves ahead of everyone else. And yeah, he knew that guy'd be standing. You think the guy just stood there at all times and he just always stood there with the jar of water? No. The Messiah knew he was going to be there, but it's not that simple. This was the thought into that. You know, when he made that happen, he was thinking of now as well. It was a foreshadowing of things to come. And if you go back through this and read this meticulously, diligently, Berean style, you'll see that that's what this is. It's a foretelling. It's a map. It tells us what we have to do and what we ought not do. Go into the city, and there a man bearing a jar of water shall meet you, a jar of water of the truth. And wherever he enters, say to the master of the house. Who's the master of the house? The Most High. The teacher, the mighty right hand, the truth, says, where is the guest room in which I am to eat the Passah with my taught ones? Where is it? And he shall show you a large upper room. Just like Messiah said, he said, where I go, I'm going to prepare rooms for you where you can come and stay with me. And we know that we inherit the earth. It's going to be right here on earth. And we know, we've been reading that all the word has been telling us that deliverance and escape is found in Jerusalem, into the city. So this is a foreshadowing, telling you what we have to do. And the taught ones came into the city and found it as he said to them, and they prepared the Passah. And the word has told us, all the prophets, all Psalms, Proverbs, Enoch, 2nd Esdras, all of it has told us the same thing. That it'll be there just like he said it would be. The Most High said it would be. And evening came. He came with the 12 at evening. And we know in the Most High's wording, the way he uses riddle code words, evening, he's talking about right before the dawn, before the day break, right before everything happens, right at the latter days, at the day of the Most High. That's considered evening, all through prophecy, through Scripture. And would that not be a true foreshadowing that at evening time the Messiah will come with his 12? And what's the 12 represent? The 12 tribes. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And as they sat and ate, Yahusha said, "Truly I say to you, one of you who is eating with me shall deliver me up." And as they sat and ate, or no, we just read that, and they began to be grieved and say to him one by one, "Is it I?" And another, "Is it I?" Would you be saying that? Just honest question. Would you be worried that you might deliver the Messiah up? Because if you do, you got serious problems. If you even think for a second that you might be someone to be treacherous towards the Most High and his Son and anyone, you have issues. And he answering and said to them, "It is one of the 12, he who is dipping with me in the dish, the bread is the word, into the wine, to the dish. The Son of Adam is indeed going, as it has been written of him." And would that not be a true foreshadowing, what we just read there in verse 20 and 19? In today's time, all these people who say they serve the Most High and fear him, the people who are getting their panties twisted and all that because of the truth being spoke, and it makes them feel uncomfortable and they don't like it. Is that not a true foreshadowing that it would be one of the 12 who dips the dish with the Messiah, who says, "Yes. See, we do Passover wherever we want out here. We preach the good news of the rain." But one of them gave him up back then. Would that happen today? The Son of Adam is indeed going, as it has been written of him. He is indeed going. And the Son of Adam, that I've been talking about, how, what did Adam do? Or the Son of Adam do? Abel. He gave, he went all in. He gave without thought or consideration of what it was going to cost him. And Cain, he held back and didn't want to give to the Most High. He didn't want to do, he didn't want to do that much. And when they saw that the Most High didn't like it, it made Cain's panties twist up into a bunch, and he killed him. He killed Abel. See, the same story. Nothing is new under the sun. The same thing goes round and round and round, but it has to come to a stop someday. And that someday, we've been learning, is soon. And so you do have a choice to make. You have to go all in, pick up your stake, or it's toodaloo. So the son of Adam, the one who would give his everything, is indeed going. Going where? He went to the city, and to pay the price, whatever it takes, as it has been written of him. But woe to that man by whom the son of Adam is delivered up. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born. It's going to be a bad day. And this is a foreshadowing of today, of what's happening today, because who is the Messiah? He's the Word. He's the truth. He's the way. He's the life. And right now, the Word, when it's spoken, when the truth is spoken, that light is shining. This little light of mine, when I let it shine, the people who have a problem with it, which is most, it's like delivering up the Messiah, just like they did to the chief priest. It's no different. If you plot and scheme around someone speaking the truth, if you don't come with love and with gentleness and with a motivation, an agenda to encourage and to lift up and build up and to unify for love, peace, and righteousness and all that good stuff, if you're not doing that, it would be better if you had not been born. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread, having blessed, broke it, gave it to them, and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." The word is the bread that came down from heaven. And taking the cup, giving thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank from it. They all drank from it. Do you think these Christians would say, ooh, they all drank out of the same cup? I hope we're not having Passover at the leper's house. And that's just the harsh reality, isn't it? Most people. And like I say, I got to keep saying this. I'm not telling you that because I want to beat them up. I want to strongly encourage us to not do those kind of things. And he said to them, "This is my blood, that of the renewed covenant." The renewed covenant he gave everything, just like you have to do. If you don't think you have to do what the Messiah, that you might potentially have to do what the Messiah had to do, but if you don't think that you have to be willing to do what the Messiah had to do, then that's not picking up his stake, and you're saying that the Messiah and the Most High are liars. But they're not. Because that's the truth. It's common sense. If you're in a relationship, okay, if you're married, if you're not willing to take a bullet for your wife, if you would kick her in the leg if a bear was coming at you, you really wasn't in a marriage. You've been bullshitting this whole time. That's what you are. It'd be better if you ain't been born. if you continue on that way until your time's up. No, it's not a marriage. You really didn't mean your vows. You ain't serious about the relationship if you wouldn't take a bullet for her or for him, or however you want to slice and dice that. You know what I'm talking about. It's common sense. If you really serve the Most High and you love him, this is all in is what you strive to do. It's not what you cover up, what you brush away, sweep away under the rug. No, you address that head on, and you understand that it's all unto the Most High, everything we do, so it has to be all in or nothing. Which is shed for many. Truly I say to you, I shall certainly no more drink of the fruit of the vine till that day when I drink it anew in the reign of Yahuwah. And notice how this is a foreshadowing. And having sung a song, they went out to the Mount of Olives. And I've been telling you, the word's telling you. I promise you. I'm not just saying that. Yeah, I know most people probably think, well, he thinks he knows everything. No, I'm telling you that it's for sure because I want you to go look so you'll see that it's for sure. And I'll show you if you need me to. I'm not going to, I don't wear Nikes. I wear Adidas. Look at this. And having sung a song once, the Messiah said, till I drink it anew in the rain, and having sung a song, they went to the Mount of Olives. When it says that they sang a renewed song, the song of Moses and the Lamb, and it mentions it all through the Bible about the song, it's talking about coming to the Mount of Olives from wherever you are. And it being beautiful, a song, a masterpiece, performed by the mighty Most High. And Yahusha said to them, all of you shall stumble in me this night, for it has been written, I shall strike the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. Who's the shepherd? He's the Word, right? Yahusha is the Word. When the truth in the Word gets struck and gets diluted, the sheep get scattered every time. But after I am raised, I shall go before you to Galilee. And Kepha, Peter, said to him, even if all shall stumble, yet not I. Is that a foreshadowing? All kinds of people pledging their allegiance, huh? But at the same time, they're fighting against the truth being spoken because it rubs them wrong. It puts a mirror in front of them. And that's what this is all about. We have to check our ego at the door and understand who we are and who we ain't. And Yahusha said to them, truly I say to you that today, this night, before the cock shall crow twice, you shall deny me 3 times. But he spoke more strongly, Peter, if I have to die with you, I shall not deny you. And they all said the same. And they came to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his taught ones, sit here while I pray. And he took with him Peter and Jacob and John, and he began to be greatly amazed and deeply distressed. And he said to them, my being is exceedingly grieved. Why do you think it was? He knew he was about to die, but just try to put yourself in his shoes for a second. Look at all the treachery that's been going on. And it's even been done by his own family. And all the smoke everyone's blowing up his ass, telling him, I'll die for you. And he already knows the answer, that they are going to flee, that he's going to see the bottom of their Nikes, push comes to shove. And yet he still has to go get brutally murdered in order to show them the way. I couldn't imagine how grieved he was. But I can relate, not to that extremity, but I can relate because it's how I see that I'm surrounded by the same type of people. I deal with the same sort of treachery every day. And it never ceases to amaze me. Every day I'm just amazed at what people have no problem in doing. And he went on a little and fell on the ground and was praying that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all is possible for you. Make this cup pass from me. Yet not what I desire, but what you desire. And notice, all words are all necessary. Like I always say, make this cup pass from him. He was just saying, this blood, it's this wine, it's like my blood, and it's all in. I'm going to lay it down for the cause, even though it sucks. And yes, I'll probably want to back out. I don't know. Me personally, I don't know if I could make it through that much pain and suffering like he did. I don't know. I would like to say I could, but I can't. I don't know. I would hope that I would stay true. We know about all through Revelations, everywhere we've been reading about the whore of Babylon, it talks about the golden cup of the abominations in her hand, right? So it's that cup symbolizes Passover, and that you come to Passover like Messiah, like you're supposed to do, and you drink, you celebrate, and you reflect, you think about everything that's happened and where you're going and who you are and who you ain't. So if the whore of Babylon has that golden cup, that's letting you know that she's the one who says this is where you come to and have Passover. It's an abomination. Make this cup pass from me, yet not what I desire, but what you desire. And what happened? The Messiah did what the Most High desired. He desired for him to go all in. And he came and found them sleeping and said to Peter, Simon, are you sleeping? You were not able to watch 1 hour? 1 hour. This is a foreshadowing as well. Most people, especially these men of battle, the watchmen, who are supposed to be sounding the alarm, they're sleeping on their post. And they're letting all these monumental revelations sneak past them. And they haven't caught them and seen them. And they're a must. They're necessary in order to live. All these signs that we've been seeing. All this truth about the image of the beast. The man of lawlessness. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And so on and so forth. We've been watching. Watch and pray lest you enter into trial. The spirit indeed is eager, but the flesh is weak. But the flesh must be strength. You must be strong. You must find a way. Find it within you to be strong in the flesh. You must move one foot in front of the other. Or the best way is just to get in your car, pull it into low, and stomp its guts out to get to the city. Yeah. And again he went away and prayed and spoke the same words, and having returned and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy, and they did not know what to answer him. And he came the third time and said to them, are you still sleeping and resting? It is enough. The hour has come. This is a foreshadowing. I'm sure he's not too thrilled with all the sleeping going on. See, the son of Adam is being delivered up into the hands of the sinners. That right hand of lies. It ended up becoming the right hand of lies for Babylon. Rise up, let us go. See, he who is delivering me up has drawn near. And immediately, while he was still speaking, Judah, one of the 12, with a large crowd with swords and clubs, came from the chief priest and the scribes and the elders, and the one who was delivering him up had given them a signal, saying, whomever I kiss, it is he. Seize him and lead him away safely. Yeah, safely. My ass. You talk about treachery. And going straight up to him, he said to him, Rabbi, Rabbi, and kissed him. And, you know, if it would have been me, I wouldn't have known maybe what was going on, and I would have just thought, like happened so many times, I would have thought, oh, me? Rabbi, you're coming to greet me? You miss me or something? But little did I know that it was treachery on high. It's just, and you wonder. And even like I say, even if you think there's no way that you're being treacherous, But yet, all this stuff that we're talking about pisses you off and you don't like it. You have issues. We all have things we got to work on, but the darkness can't comprehend the light, my friend. It's as simple as that. And they laid their hands on him and seized him. And one of those standing by drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. And like I say, don't think that all these words ain't necessary, and it's all foreshadowing. And it's all a treasure map, a riddle, a code. And Yahusha answering said to them, Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to take me? Daily I was with you in the set apart place teaching, and you did not seize me, but let the scriptures be filled. And they all left him and fled. All the 12 gone. And not too long ago they were just saying, we'll die for you. And a certain young man was following him, having a linen cloth thrown around his naked body. And when they seized the Messiah, he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. That's a foreshadowing. That's instructions, because we know the fine linen represents righteousness. This young guy was clothed in linen following the Messiah, but when shit got real, he was out. And that righteousness just fell off of him, and we saw the shame of his nakedness. This is a foreshadowing about what's going on with the image of the beast and with all inhabitants of the earth. And they led Yahusha away to the high priest, and all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes came together to him. Peter followed after him at a distance, even into the courtyard of the high priest, and he was sitting with the officers and warming himself at the fire. Getting good and warm, as long as he was good and toasty. And the chief priest and all the council were seeking witness against Yahusha to put him to death, and they were finding none. There was nothing. I'm surprised they even looked. For many bore false witness against him, but their evidence did not agree. Many showed us the bottom of their Nikes. And some rose up and bore false witness against him, saying, We heard him saying, I shall destroy this dwelling place that is made with hands, and within 3 days I shall build another made without hands. Without hands. And not even then did their witness agree. Then the high priest stood up in the center and asked Yahusha, saying, Have you no answer to make? What do these witness against you? Incriminate yourself. But you see, the Messiah, he's smart, he's wise. But he remains silent, like you must do if you ever find yourself in that hot seat. Lawyer up. No doubt about it. It don't matter what they're talking about. Doesn't matter. Because they're out to find ways to incriminate you, or for you to incriminate yourself. That's their whole mission. And I've met maybe one or two that didn't seem that way, but he was probably in the wrong profession. Because most of them they're vultures. Again, the high priest asked him, saying to him, Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed? And Yahusha said, I am, and you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power. And see, he didn't have no problem telling him that. He didn't have no problem confessing that part, did he? Because he knew. And you're going to see him sitting at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of the heaven. And tearing his garments, the high priest said, What further need do we have of witness? And that's, it's not that extreme, but right now these people, when you tell them that that's the image of the beast, they want to just rip their clothes off and just kill you, rip your throat out. But what you're speaking is, you're reading the word, you're speaking the truth, and you're laying out the evidence, the fact-rich case, evidence-rich case. But what do they think? It's blasphemy. You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? And they all condemned him to be liable to death. Some began to spit on him and to blindfold him and to beat him and to say to him, prophesy. And the officers struck him with the palms of their hands. And as Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came, and seeing Peter warming himself, getting good and toasty, she looked at him and said, you were with Yahusha of Nazareth. But he denied it, saying, I do not know. So we know what happened. Before the cock crowed, he denied him 3 times. And what happened in the end? Peter found himself weeping. Good thing that wasn't his end. I don't know what his end was, but in the end of this chapter right here, before the cock crows twice, you shall deny me 3 times, and thinking on it, he wept. That's what's going to happen one day. If whoever it is that don't wake up to this truth, that the image of the beast is slaughtering a massive amount of souls. Whoever it is that don't wake up to that truth of who the image of the beast is, and that it's the fake state of Israel, created by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers in 1948. Whoever can't wake up to that truth, and that the man of lawlessness has came from there, and all those things are working together to destroy you. Whoever can't wake up to that, you're going to be destroyed, and it's going to be a day of great weeping, my friend. Bust open that flask of whatever it is you have. If it's your bank account, if it's your relationships, if it's selling your house, quitting your job, it don't matter. Whatever it is that's holding you back from picking up your stake, let go of it now before it's too late.